got laid off from my corporate job, my first corporate job, about 6 months ago. I want to say like maybe 4 or 5 months prior to that. They let us know that there would be layoffs, but never mentioned exactly when that was happening. They were very strategic with this entire process. And then it finally happened at the end of February. And now, today, they announced that they would be laying off 900 people tomorrow. I don't know what's worse, like working for months knowing that you could potentially not have a job, or like finding out today that tomorrow you could potentially not have a job. While the CEO is working from his remote office where he lives in Southern California. This company is such a joke, and I feel so bad for my old coworkers who are still there that are probably spiraling out of control right now because they don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But that just goes to show that your company, the company that you work for, doesn't give a shit about you. You're disposable. So make sure you are prioritizing yourself and like not giving all of you to a company who could easily just get rid of you the next day.
I've watched so many other people.
I don't understand that logic. I'm very confused about that logic. And let me tell you why. Whatever company that I go into, because she had a couple different problems with this situation, whatever company that I go into, I'm going to give my all. In the same way that I promised that I would do my job so that I get my paycheck, I'm going to do that, right? And then when I get off, I'm going to leave whatever it is that I got going on at work. Now, obviously, based off of the context clues that she's giving, she's talking about Starbucks. Starbucks has to reorganize, and they brought in a CEO that turned around Chipotle, and they want him to do the same thing because he made Chipotle, obviously, he fixed their whole business model, got them profitable, raised their stock price, and returned value back to shareholders, right? You're looking at it from a business perspective. Usually people take things personal. If she really was smart, what she would have done is she would have been looking for another job because she was already aware that the company was undergoing changes and that it was a possibility for her to lose her job or to get laid off. They did her a solid by giving her the heads up and saying, hey, listen, it's going to be some changes. You're probably going to get laid off. But instead, she's still getting her paycheck. But then she tells you that she feels some type of way about it because corporate is doing this and the CEO is doing it. First of all, everybody counting everybody money. Focus on you. He's grown and he's been able to, and let's be clear, people don't understand compensation packages for CEOs. Their compensation is largely tied to A, what they negotiate, and B, the success of the company. So their compensation is usually equity into the company, which incentivizes them to make the necessary changes for the company to be successful for a long term so that they get the maximum profit, right? They don't know exactly what it takes for a person to run a company and all the pressure that comes along with it. And so they then get mad because they are affected by the decisions that he's making. The fact of the matter is this: never take it personal. Always prepare yourself. Don't put all your eggs in one basket and look to level up by making sure that you're not dependent on the company, but that you've diversified your skill set and then you've grown so that you're not supposed to be working at Starbucks for the rest of your life in the first place. But everybody is taking it personal. Everybody feels some type of way. And now they in their feelings, now that Starbucks is closing like 400 stores inside of the U.S., 500 between the U.S. and Canada. And the majority of those stores is over in California, the Bay Area, Los Angeles. So, you got to be careful on how you speak because your mentality then leads you to be more successful or it puts you at the duress of the company.
You to a company who could easily just get rid of you the next day.
I've watched so many other people come on this app and make this kind of post, and you always hope that it won't be you, but here I am. Yesterday, I lost my job. I've spent the last 8 years with my company. I was in the warehouse picking and packing and worked my way into the marketing department, and I've spent the last 7 years busting my ass in that department. I truly enjoyed what I did and who I worked with. I don't have anything bad to say about the company. I wasn't alone, unfortunately. Several others from my company were also let go. They said it has nothing to do with your performance. You're a great worker. We're wishing you the best. It has more to do with the economy and sales and revenue being down and the organization just having to make some tough decisions, cost-cutting decisions, and eliminate some positions, and my position was just one of them that happened to be eliminated. Shortly after, I seen some people on LinkedIn from my organization announce promotions, aka we're cutting salaries of others and putting more on your plate. And this is why I get so frustrated when people say not everything is political, because Everything really is political when you sit and unpack it. My company, like many others, have taken a hard hit from these Trump tariffs. These tariffs on nearly all imports have raised prices for companies and raised prices for consumers, and hundreds of thousands of people are losing their jobs because of the actions of one man. And it's truly infuriating to watch his response to the latest jobs report number be, oh, well, the numbers are just rigged. The unemployment numbers, the job reports numbers are just rigged to make me look bad, as I sit in my reality of no longer being employed and being the only caretaker for my child. I really hope that people become more aware and more involved, whether that's voting or protesting. It's important to pay attention to what's going on with your neighbor, not just because one day it could be you, but because that's truly the American way. Please make sure.
So let me speak to her issue because, again, I think that she's been professional. I think that she's given an objective opinion. I also believe that she thinks that she knows exactly why the company is laying people off, and that's directly tied to tariffs and costs. What I will tell you is that the Biden administration was propping up the economy by pretending that it was better than it was, and that's why you've seen a revision of 911,000 jobs in the Biden economy over the past, what is it, more than 12 months. And basically what he was doing is he was adding a bunch of costs over into the government by hiring people in government workers instead of shaving it down and spending more time trying to build up the economy. The real economy was taken away from you because we don't make anything in the United States of America. So we're supposed to subsidize other countries in order to ensure that you have a job, but instead of investing in American workers and taking a hit, we say that it is directly tied to the tariffs. It's not directly tied to the tariffs. It's directly tied to your company depending on other countries in order to continue to do business and keep you employed. So I don't buy that, but at the same time, I respect her opinion and I respect her ability to vote and her saying that you need to mobilize and get informed. I think that there's a bigger picture that most women and most people don't understand about tariffs, nor understand about the economy. We've been kicking the can down the road for so long, including the Biden administration, that it finally stopped at Trump because if we didn't do something, then the entire country would implode by the idea that every country would take advantage of our finances, our consumerism. But again, we don't make anything inside of the United States of America, which is what he's correcting. Let me move over into the next person. I absolutely like what she had to say, though.
You vote in this upcoming midterms, and if you're looking for a paid media professional, I have lots of experience running ads on TikTok, Facebook, Meta, Google, Pinterest.
See, if she hadn't stated her liberal opinion, I think that she would probably get more hits to her professionalism, but that's neither here nor there.
Etc. Please feel free to reach out, and thanks for listening.
You guys have to stop giving your political opinion if you are then in the market to try to get a job because you're limiting your opportunities by having that perspective. First thing that I think that most companies are doing is they are going to check your social media, and you don't know what you don't know and you don't know what you missed out on, so you got to be careful about that.
Put in my 2 weeks at my job and tomorrow's my last day. That job paid me $90,000 a year almost, and it was the most money I've ever made in my life. It was stable, it was fine, and I still quit because I realized I was living my worst case scenario. 24, living at home with my parents in a state and city I do not enjoy, none of my friends are here, and I'm working a job I do not like.
Wait a minute. So you was 24 years old making $90,000 a year and you was living with your parents, which means that you was able to save almost every dime and every dollar that you made, and you are saying that you want to quit so that you can be around other people that you probably is not even going to know in 10 years from now, or they're going to go off and do what's best for them? It's wild, bro.
And going into an office 4 days a week, now 5 days a week because they just implemented that before I quit. What does it matter? Like, I've been a mini adult my whole life, so if I don't blow up my life right now, I fear I'm going to blow it up at 30, and that might be catastrophic. So I am going to start like a mini series of how to quit your job or how to prepare or like how to blow your life up. I don't know, working title. But the point is,
she don't really have much responsibility, and so she don't really care about the 90K because she still gets to live at home with her parents.
What else is there? If I'm going to be unhappy and already living in my worst case scenario, why not go where I'm
Why do all of these women have a septum nose ring? I seen the last girl or the first girl I think had a septum nose ring, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna come back to her. Let me see something. Yep. Let me see if the middle one did. No, the middle one was a little bit more professional.
5 days a week because they just implement at 30, and that might be catastrophic. So I
don't know why
am
they all.
going to start like a mini series of
All of
how
them.
to quit your job or how to prepare or like how to blow your life up. I don't know, working title. But the point is, what else is there? If I'm going to be unhappy and already living in my worst case scenario, why not go where I'm happy? I've been wanting to go back to New York. I'm going to live with my friends again. I can see my friends way more often. I can be in a state and a city that I enjoy and that I like. And I'll be doing work that I truly enjoy. I'll be focusing on my own business for the rest of this year, and then we'll see where it goes. I have savings. I am also very capable. And I did the same exact thing last year where I quit my corporate job. I had like savings and I was living by myself and paying $1,500 in rent. If I could do that, I can do this.
Yeah, I would just say that I don't see anything wrong with it. She doesn't have any kids, any responsibilities. New York, I think, is about to turn into trash, considering that Eric Adams has dropped out and Mom Donnie was probably become mayor. So, yeah, according to the previous woman, a lot of things are political. But I think that she'll be fine, and especially if she has a background that allows for her to be able to get gainfully employed as soon as she gets to New York. The only thing that I would say about her is I would already put myself in a position to get a job before I just blow up your life and just quit the one that you already have. But that's me. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T Chanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Like to always link back to the content creators to give credit regardless of whether I agree or not. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments.